Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Chairman,
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. You're muted, Chairman.
Okay, is that better?
That is better. I hear you clearly, loud and clear. Do you hear me?
I do.
Good.
All right. Shanita? Somebody from headquarters.
good afternoon, Chairman. Can you hear us?
Okay, finally. Yeah, now I can hear you.
Chairman, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and get the live stream started.
Wait a second.
Is it your phone?
Something's happening with my video now. Can you see me okay?
Yes.
Chairman, the meeting is live streamed.
So I can start?
Can.
Okay. Good afternoon. We're having some technical difficulties. So my name is Raymond Skinner, and I'm chair of the DCHA Stabilization and Reform Board. And I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the regular monthly meeting of the District of Columbia Housing Authority being held today, October 9th, 2024. This meeting is being held via WebEx video conferencing, and some of the board members are in person at the office. The time is now 1:07 p.m. At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to allow for some personal reflection. Thank you. So our meeting today, this is a regular meeting of the board, but we've invited members of the public to sign up to speak via our website. For those who would just like to view the meeting, can do so live via the DCHA website linked to our Facebook Live page. The Board of Commissioners welcomes constituent input on matters of public concern and offers you today an opportunity to express your views during the public testimony portion of this meeting. However, we require that members of the public who attend our meetings abide by certain rules of decorum to allow the board to complete its business. For this virtual meeting, DCHA asks that you remain muted until you are instructed to speak. Members of the public cannot engage in any disruptive conduct, loud, threatening, or abusive language during the board meetings. This includes any loud outbursts or shouting during times when you have not been asked to speak. Anyone who violates these rules will be removed from this virtual meeting. Serious or repeated violations of the rules may result in you being barred from speaking at future meetings. We do appreciate your interest in the matters before us today, and I want to thank you in advance for abiding by these rules of conduct. At this time, I'm going to ask for a roll call vote to determine if we have a quorum.
Thank you, Chairman. Denise Blackson. Present. Rosa Burbridge. Present. Leroy Clay.
Here.
Jim Dickerson.
Present.
Thank you. Ronnie Harris. Katrina Jones. Melissa Lee.
Present.
Thank you. Chris Murphy. Jennifer Reed,
Present.
thank you, and Teresa Silla,
Present.
and Chairman Skinner.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. So I just wanted to let you know that I have to leave at 2:30 this afternoon, but hopefully we can get as much of the agenda done as possible before then. If not, then our Vice Chair, Melissa Lee, will take over for me. So first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the September 11th, 2024 Board of Commissioners meeting. I hope everyone has had a chance to read the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So move.
Second, all in favor? Aye. The minutes will stand approved as presented. So next item is the Executive Director's report. Mr. Executive Director.
Mr. Chair, keep this short and sweet. We're at 84% utilization on the public housing side, so we're slowly but surely creeping up, which is a good thing. Given that we started at 74% when I first hit the door, so I'm excited about that. We're housing people, which is a good thing. So public housing side is moving along. On the voucher side of the house, we're still about 86% utilization right now, but we've increased the number of vouchers that are on the street, so we're looking to get those numbers in terms of lease ups higher over the next few months as we close out the year. As you all may know, the locators have started, so they're now sort of getting their feet under them with regard to the program and helping individuals on the street find units. So that's moving right along. Let's see here. Let Anton talk about the rapid rehab and stuff in a minute. But October's been a very, it's gonna be a very busy month for us. As you all know, we've been, we initiated these rebuilding our community events at various properties throughout our portfolio for the summer in order to bring people together and to reignite a sense of community. And so our last one will be this month. The weather, obviously, and the kids with slides, and that's going to be at Potomac Gardens. But also for the month of October, we have several other notable events that I think worth noting. One is that some of you all may know, earlier in the summer, Darryl Green, former Washington Redskins Hall of Famer, entertained 100 or so kids of ours at the training camp with the Commanders, and it was a wonderful event for the kids. Darryl and the Commanders are now going to be doing a football camp for kids on Saturday over at Greenleaf. Right now, we have about 110 kids that are registered for the camp, and the number is growing by the day. So we're excited about that. Also, having a Halloween festival with Greenleaf, where we'll bus kids in, and we're going to set up sort of like a haunted house theme under tent. So folks are excited about that as well. So those are some notable events that we're going to be having, and it's also Anti-Bullying Month. So we're going to be having an anti-bullying event, a peace event over at the Envision Center on Saturday, October the 26th. And with that, I'll turn it over to Anton to give an update on the rapid rehousing. And then I have one more item, Mr. Chairman, I want to share.
Good morning.
No,
Good afternoon.
they are ready.
So I'd like to give a quick update regarding our progress with the DHS project, Rapid Housing Families. Currently, as of today, we have been able to work with DHS and reviewed 489 applications. With that 489, we've had 97 families who were approved and have been issued vouchers. Of that 97, unfortunately, I was hoping we'd have more families that would put lease in place. Initially, we had some that said they would, then they received the voucher and realized it's a golden opportunity and decided not to. We have one family who has finally, happily, even though it sounds like a low number to you all, it's a good number to me. Only one family is ready to lease up. We just have to have contract. So that will be processed, if not today, tomorrow. And again, I know it sounds like a low number, but I'm actually happy about it because I've been waiting for families to lease up. So that one is a win for me, even though it's not a big number. We had an event on Thursday and Friday past with DHS where we had a mass application session. We're expecting a large turnout. Unfortunately, we did not have the big turnout that we were told we had to have. We had 59 families show up on Thursday and 51 families on Friday. Of those two sets of families, we only had 37 applicants that were complete. The other families, and those two numbers are large, what we learned was families came to the session, but did not have their paperwork, their documents, their income statements, TANF information, proper ID, and so on. So they, even though they came and signed in, they left. Some of them unfortunately did not come back, but we're still going to process them this Thursday and Friday. We do plan to continue those sessions because even though it's not the turnout we'd like for DHS to provide to us, it's better than having 5 or 10 at a time from DHS. So these sessions are starting to, in my opinion, be a little bit more fruitful. We still have only 5 families who we deemed ineligible based on income, 1 criminal. We had 126 applicants that were incomplete. So we wait for DHS and DHS's partners to respond back to us with the documents we need. Once we have those, they'll be ready to be processed by a third-party vendor, ALECA. There are currently 23 applications that are complete. That's being processed now today as we speak by ALECA for eligibility review, and hopefully those 23 will be processed by tomorrow when set for a briefing. And the last piece of information I have for the DHS is we do have 3 applicants that have been processed and deemed eligible by ALECA, and they will have their briefing completed on next Tuesday.
A couple things I want to point out. You have done training with DHS with regard to what submitted these applicants, right?
Yes. Yes. Let's go ahead and
I
look
want to
at
make that clear because, you know, people understand that we have been working with DHS to train their folks on what information is necessary in order to be able to submit a complete application. And the second piece of it is with the lease up part. DHS is responsible for the lease up. It's assisting the applicants with the lease up, not us. So I don't want anybody to think, hey, only one person leased up, what's going on? Yeah, initially, and another piece of this is just that we had hoped in the beginning with all of this that a lot of people would lease in place because they're already living in places, but obviously that's not happening. So just so you all know.
look at one other piece. So again, we do the Thursday, Friday application sessions with DHS. We were expecting a large number. We're told initially 500 applicants would come to the sessions. Like I said, we had 59 one day and 51 another. Found out today, we did some research as to what happened because we were expecting this large turnout. Apparently, the individual at DHS that was supposed to send out the notifications left. So families weren't really notified of the event. So we have to deal with that again. And I think I mentioned this in the last meeting last month. That I know DHS has some personal issues with keeping the staff, and this is just a clear example of what we have to deal with. So we're doing everything we can to help DHS in terms of getting this, because we want to make sure this is successful. But to a certain degree, we feel that now we keep doing what we can get the results we need from it.
Well spoken with the director there. I mean, if there's some of the challenges, I mean, it sounds like, you know, someone forgot to send an email, they'll send it later this week. But have you all been in touch with Director
So
Island?
we had a meeting with that Director Zolling about a month ago. We talked about some of the challenges when we first kicked off the program. And they showed us that things would be worked out. So here we are. And some of the challenges that they have. So we'll circle back with them, but we did meet with her.
Okay.
Because I was the one that called the meeting to talk about some of the challenges that our staff were telling me about. And I wanted to clear all that up. What became an issue.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be good just because I know, you know, she wants, and they want the families to be leased up as quickly as possible as well. It might be that they need to have providers come in too. Because maybe the providers who are assisting people with filling out the applications aren't aware of all of the different requirements, right, for the federal voucher versus the local voucher.
So let me push back.
Part of the training center.
Yeah, that's part of the
Yeah.
training.
They were
Yeah,
part of
yeah,
the
more-
training.
more-
I brought it up because we
Yeah.
trained a lot of folks, even the providers as well. Make sure that we got the funds.
Get multiple trainings.
And what day was the lease up on? You said last week?
Last Thursday, last Friday.
What day?
I think Thursday and Friday were.
10
It
and
was-
11, we, the
It was on social media. It was
Yeah,
all over the
and
place. I saw it.
just an idea, you know, around the first through the fifth, people get their money. And even if, you understand what I'm saying, a lot of these, most of these people are getting some type of subsidy, correct? And that's something to take in consideration because when I get my money, I want to do whatever, whatever, and that may have stopped a lot of the income too.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Any other questions from commissioners?
So the person that would have sent out the email, were they also supposed to include all of the documentation that people needed? Because it sounds like one issue, there weren't a lot of people there, but then another issue, people showed up without the right documentation, which, that also begs the question, why didn't they know what they needed?
So what we learned through conversations, speaking with families is the partners for DHS, they're supposed to notify the families, like Director Beckridge said a minute ago, we've trained everyone. So they're supposed to notify families. What we learned, what we continue to learn is when the families come in without the documentation, the biggest answer we get is, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to bring that. I think I mentioned last month that when we did speak to families for the second visit, bring every document, bring everything they have. So we'll sort through it to help you find it. But the message is not being outside of us. Is not being sent to the families from the DHS partners. Now, I can't point fingers.
Sure.
I can only go by what the families tell us.
And I know that this is something DHS is doing, not us from that standpoint, but something as simple as a checklist should be included in the notification so that they know what to bring. I would imagine that those people that came wanted to make sure they had the right documentation.
One family that actually, when he came to the session, realized he didn't have what we needed. He left and came right back.
Right.
Because he didn't know. He said the same guy didn't know I was supposed to have this. So I think the message is not being translated properly.
But you guys meet with them once a week, right?
Yes.
Okay, so at some point we need to resolve this. It's something simple as this should be easily resolved, right? In terms of identifying what person is, or for the communication of one, and making sure that they understand that this is a problem, that this hindering get released up.
And I can say from another standpoint of dealing with case management, that, in recovery housing, some case managers are not as clear as they should be. When they have a case manager, they're not clear, like, you actually have to have this. They even speaking with the case manager, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. But this is the actual case manager saying they didn't know what to tell the client. So how can the client, if the case manager doesn't understand?
What Beckridge said, we've done more than one training sessions. And we've been down this road. We're going to continue to go down this road because we want to make sure this program is successful. And we continue to do what we have to do. We will. At the end of the day, there's so much handholding we can do with DHS and their partners.
So like the blast I saw that was on social media, it'd be good if that same, I'm not sure who it was sent from. I just saw that it was circulating, if that could include a checklist also, like that blast that went out. So when you come to this session, be prepared, have your lease, your social security cards, versus whatever is needed, or should be stated maybe in bullets, something simple.
While DHS is doing it, maybe even that checklist could be somewhere on the DCHA website. So that some people don't show up and say, oh, maybe I'll go to the website and get more information.
Do we have a list of does somebody have a list of the case managers that's supposed to be helping these folks get their documents in order and filled and ready to go? Or is it just kind of an announcement that's thrown out there and somebody says, there needs to be some accountability here if these case managers aren't communicating properly to the resident, to people.
So going back to the MOU and going back to the agreement we made when we started this project, that is DHS's responsibility and DHS's partner's responsibility.
Yes.
Prep the families prior to us reviewing the files.
Well, they're not doing it. Somebody's got to get the director, somebody has to get on top of this and say, and make this a big priority and consequences for them not doing their job.
Is there a safety net? Responsibility, it should be this and that, but when you're a family and you're homeless or you're facing homeless, you really don't care to do it. Is there somewhere near future that we can have a safety net that catches those families that are seem apparently falling through. Just something to think about. And I want to say great job even on that one family. It's not just one family. That's a family of happy homeless that will enjoy the holidays. So great job on that. Because one is better than zero, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Good thing is this though, because they're coming to these sessions, even if they show up without paperwork, they leave knowing what they need to bring back.
Right.
And so that's one of the things I've tried to do with all of the staff is to make us available, right? Until we can become more efficient, people can find us. That's one reason why I brought everybody back to work. If they can find us, at least they can get help, right? And so the good thing is we're doing these sessions. They come in, if they don't have everything, we let them know that, hey, we need you to return with this so we can now process you.
I do have one other question. We had a timeline that we kind of expected things to happen. Things are moving slower. We understand this because challenge with DHS. How does that impact us getting back to our main wait list? Like if this takes longer than expected, how does that impact the main wait list?
There's a sunset date in the MOU.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
But number two, we're still putting vouchers on the street on the outside too. Oh, this thing ebbs and flows all the time.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Mr. Chairman,
any other questions from commissioners? So, Keith, you said you had another issue
Yeah.
to bring up?
you had mentioned to me about the Rick Roll article, and I just wanted to have someone respond to that.
Sure.
So, I'll jump in. Some of you know, there was a, newspaper article about a lawsuit that was, filed against a vendor called RentGrow, by some local, nonprofits, I believe. DCHA is, the lawsuit indicates that we use the program. But we are not party to the lawsuit. But I wanted, I can, because there's a lawsuit, why don't I maybe talk about, what our process is, to the use of this kind of software. The RentGrow is, as I understand it, is sort of tenant screening software. Our HCVP department does use it for criminal background checks only. And the procedure, if we get negative information, is that that we think might result in the denial of a voucher. The procedure is that it is first elevated to a supervisor who maybe concurs. The applicant is then notified that we have this possible negative information that could result in a denial, and that they have an opportunity to come in and show what I'll call sort of evidence of mitigating circumstances. That could be, this is not me, right? There's a mistake in the criminal background check. It could also be, I've attended drug rehab, right? And the issues that gave rise to the criminal issue no longer present. And those are just examples. I mean, it's all very individual and fact specific. And so then this goes back to the DCHA folks who would, look at the mitigating circumstances information and determine if they think it still should result in a denial or if it should not. So there's a whole process around, denials for criminal background checks. I should also note that when someone is notified, it's not just we have this information. They are, they're given information about the vendor who had the negative information, and they're given, they're given details about what was in the report. I mean, I'm trying to leave anything out in terms of that. I think, okay. I don't know if there are any questions about it, but I know it's been on people, maybe have been on people's minds. So we wanted to just talk about what that process is.
So let me just try to clarify. So I think the article implied that DCHA was using this RentGrow to determine eligibility for a voucher. But as you said, the only thing we use RentGrow for is criminal background checks, which is only a portion of the screening for for eligibility. And then the second thing is we have nothing to do with the landlords determining eligibility for potential renters coming into their property. They do their own screening and they may use RentGrow for that, but that's completely separate from what we do and how we use RentGrow to again just do the background criminal background checks. Is that correct, Keith?
Yes, yeah, correct. And so with respect to the HCVP program, the voucher program, I should also say this is only for federal vouchers because we are not doing criminal screening for the local voucher program. So I should have, so you are correct, Chairman, but also I should insert that qualifier. But yeah, we don't, if landlords are using it to screen voucher holders, we are not, we don't necessarily, we're not part of that process. We're not part of the landlord screening process.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from commissioners on that issue? So the other thing that I wanted to bring up, I mentioned that at last month's meeting that we're now at the 2-year anniversary of the HUD assessment that we got with the 82 or so findings and so forth. And I was concerned that we had not closed out all those findings or had not heard from HUD in terms of kind of where we stand vis-a-vis closing out these findings. So I'm happy to report, and I want Keith to follow up and give us a little more information. But we did get a letter from HUD giving us the status and how we move forward to get all of those findings closed out. So Keith, you want to talk about what HUD said?
Yeah, well, and I apologize. I sent a letter out to all of the commissioners. I know but pretty much what I indicated that they were pleased with the progress. We did submit a lot of information. We still could pretty much submit everything except for some items that were tied to the e-copy admin plan. But then they came back obviously and said, well, we need a little more information on some of this other stuff that you sent us. So we've been very responsive. But as I indicated, ironically, to Councilmember Parker during my first oversight hearing, when he said, well, you're going to close everything out by the 31st of May. And I said, that's the goal. Then he said it again. I said, that's the goal. But doing what I know and how we go back and forth with HUD, here we are now. But the good thing is they're pleased with the progress. Gone back and forth with some things. Sometimes policy people don't understand practical on the groundwork. And so, but we're in a space. I think it may be like about 13 items that are still outstanding, and some of that includes the e-copy admin plan stuff that we need to clarify and clean up. And then there's an item that I think they're starting to realize that was just could be unrealistic, but at the time and that snapshot in time, I thought that was a good idea. So, but we're in a good space. And I'll send a letter around. It came from the field office, and so they acknowledge the fact that they elect with us. Those taken care of.
So overall, the letter was very complimentary of the executive director in particular, but also the overall team and the progress that has been made since Keith has came in last November, and he's hired an experienced management team. He's focused on upgrading our systems, getting out in the community, meeting with residents and so forth. So overall, again, HUD was very pleased and emphasized in the letter that they're working with us and they will continue to work with us until all the findings are completely resolved. Any questions? Okay, if not, then the next item on the agenda is our public testimony. And again, we're going to have resident testimony first and then the non-resident testimony. And each person will have 3 minutes to testify, and you can talk about whatever's on your mind, including any of the resolutions that are before us today. So I'm going to ask Shanita to call on the residents first.
Sure. Thanks, Chairman. The first resident we have is Adrian Lynch. As a reminder, if you're online, it starts to unmute yourself, but Adrian Lynch. Want to move forward. Luanda Williams. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Luanda.
You asking for Linda Brown or Linda Williams?
I was asking for Luanda Williams. Miss Brown, I'll get it to you. Next, we have former Commissioner Kenneth Council.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Um, on this past Monday, on the 7th, some of the leadership had a conversation with Director Pettigrew and OGC, I believe Amy is her name. And it made me go through some old paperwork, but DC Code Section 6-207 says that the Office of Audit and Compliance shall conduct independent fiscal and management audits, special audits and examinations, or other assignments and civil or criminal investigations. So I'm trying to put the department to see just where we are. I'm noticing that you all did upload the audit and compliance piece in your recovery last night, but after going through it thoroughly, I'm still sleepy from it, that you left out the fair hearing. And as well as the fair hearing piece, the Office of Communications. When I was a commissioner there, we made sure that we gave tools to be fair to help our residents navigate. And to even hear just now what was in the newspaper last week about the use of the rent glow. You all are saying that you use it for vouchers. You all were using that for the background checks for public housing as well, not just vouchers. So what, you're spreading things or you're stopping things? I'm trying to get clarity in what you all are doing. There's some things that I'm not going to put in the air. I'm going to try my best to do it off air and speak to the director more about it. But audit and compliance should be involved in a lot of these things that OGC has jumped into. That doesn't make sense to me. The reports, the monthly reports that you all got on lead or investigations, rent collections, that was audit and compliance. And Amy said that compliance, well, she didn't say compliance. She says they just did audit. And that's just not what that office does. It's an office of integrity. So I'm trying to get clarity. Did you all break the office up? Or their duties and what they do? The reason why I asked, because that was my shop. I was over audit and finance, so I knew what the responsibilities are and should be, along with the charter. Have you all read the charter lately?
So, Mr. Council, I guess the short answer is no, we haven't changed anything. But as you mentioned, you had a previous meeting with the director, and we are certainly open to meeting with you to try to address your concerns.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Esther Hardesty. Ms. Hardesty, is *6 to unmute yourself?
Good afternoon, Board of Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
We are the leaders of writing to express our concerns regarding the conduct of Rosa Burbridge, who has not been upholding the ethical standards of leadership qualities expected of the president, the citywide advisory board, and commissioner. It has become increasingly clear that Ms. Burbridge has engaged in behavior which is inconsistent with the ethical principles that should guide someone in their important role. whether in internal decisions-making processes or in their external representation of the organization. There have been instances where their actions have raised serious questions about their commitment to transparency, fairness, and integrity. Ethical leadership is foundational to the trust of our members and residents that place us in. And we fear that this trust has been eroded. Moreover, we are concerned that Ms. Burbridge is not being an appropriate representative of DCHA. As the president of the Citywide Advisory Board, the president has the responsibility to represent the DCHA's mission and value in a positive and professional light. The conduct Ms. Burbridge has displayed in public forums, meetings, and interaction with key stakeholders has often fallen short of what is expected. This has not only damaged the reputation of DCHA and Citywide Advisory Board, but it has also affected the work of the residents in which we serve. The Citywide Advisory Board's success depends on strong ethical leadership that reflects the DCHA's core values. When those in leadership fail to act in accordance with these values, the entire board is impacted, and also DCHA. So we, the leaders of DCHA communities, would ask that you consider allowing the residents to voice their opinions and be heard and vote for the person that we want to lead us.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Hardesty. We will take your comments under advisements, and we will meet separately to talk about this issue.
Next, we have Carolyn Brown. Carolyn Brown. Moving forward. Next, we have former Commissioner Aquarius Van Gossary.
First and foremost,
Commissioner, we had you and then we've lost you. We cannot hear you if you're speaking.
Director,
Okay.
thank you so very much.
Commissioner, we are having a hard time with your audio. If you can still hear us, former Commissioner Van Gossary, we can come back to you. If you can get to a location that your audio can come through a little clearer so we can hear your testimony. While we wait for former Commissioner Van Gossary to get to a different location, I'm going to call on Linda Brown. Ms. Brown, *6 to unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Linda Brown, and I live in Greenleaf Senior. And I have actually two questions. The first one is what is happening with the Section 8 application for Greenleaf? And are there any engagements planned with residents to let us know if HUD had approved those applications? And the second one is, we used to have commissioners meetings on properties, different properties. And so I'm wondering if we can think about having some of these meetings in person and going on these properties again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Yes, I've mentioned previously that we were considering having meetings at the properties, and we're still trying to work out some of the logistical issues to be able to make that happen. So once we move to the idea of having the virtual meeting or what they call a hybrid, where some people are in person, some virtual, it's just more difficult to do that, to set up the virtual situation at the the properties, because we need to have the right equipment there, and also having a facility, a room big enough to be able to house the board. So again, we haven't given up on that, but that's something that we're still thinking about. With regard to the movement to the Section 8 positioning of our properties, we're going to talk a little about that later today with regard to one of our resolutions. So stay tuned and you'll hear more about that today. Okay, next.
Next, we have Arlene Gray. Arlene Gray. Next, we have Patricia Bishop. Ms. Bishop, if you can star 6 to unmute yourself.
Can everyone hear me?
We can.
Yes. Hi, Ms. Bishop. How are you today?
I'm fine. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patricia Bishop. I'm the president of Greenleaf Midrise. I also serve as the sergeant of arms on the citywide advisory board. I'd like to thank the board for being so diligent in providing us the transportation to North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, to serve at the NASA event. Wonderful event, great time, very educational. I thank everyone who also reached out to make sure that I was okay and proceeded with the transportation for me to return home, to the train to come back home. Everyone have a blessed month. See you guys next month.
Thank you, Ms. Bishop.
Thank you.
So I want to go back to former Commissioner Aquarius Van Gossery. I'm hoping you're in a location that we can hear your testimony. And moving forward.
Hear me?
Oh, we
You hear
can.
me say yes or no? Can
Yes, ma'am.
can't hear? You can hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Yes.
Say what I got to say, but you can hear me. First and foremost, Director Pettigrew, thank you so much for correcting the violation that DCHA had when it came to the field in between, so you need to check to see the management have it everywhere I want. Number two, I still would like to know with some transparency with the Honorable Muriel Bowser on the internet to let us know when the expiration of her on board. Chairman Skinner, you have to make sure that the mayor do not release you all until one, you promised me while I was a commissioner and I was undefeated for 7 years, elected, work hard and put flyers on every door. So I want my promise. So only thing I need you to do, Mr. Skinner, is you actually need to find out from the mayor, because you all promised us that y'all would do the bylaws for your board. So we need to know the status, because you all do not need to leave until you do a draft of the bylaws, because you set an example. And as far as a citywide advisory chair, we don't need that. We're getting ready to have an election in December. And give me my promise, because it's the same situation we had when the citywide advisory board came in front of me and did not want to have the election during COVID. Now, no disrespect, whatever's going on with the Commissioner Rosa Burbridge, this is the second time because I represented her the first time and her rights were violated. I'm only about violation of people's rights. First and foremost, the Citywide Advisory Board, majority of them do not like me. However, I'm a certified paralegal and most of your laws. And you can verify that through each of your mayors and every one of your directors, including Director Pettigrew, who served under my leadership. I am the one who created the Office of Resident Service
initiative. And I will die living in public, and I will always be a thorn in any director or employee, because people rights are what's important. And that's the only thing I want y'all to understand, and you've done a good job correcting that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Van Gosser.
The last person that we have is Daniel Del Caliego.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Del Pilago. I'm an organizer with Empower DC. I just wanted to follow up on Ms. Brown's points about returning to in-person board meetings, or as I think as Commissioner Skinner mentioned, Chair Skinner mentioned, a virtual blend. It's been very hard just as a spectator here, somebody listening, to hear full conversations. Oftentimes, as the director was speaking, he would break up, and it was just hard to get a full grasp of what he was saying. So I encourage this board, especially as your stay has been extended, as I understand, or I think it's waiting mayoral approval, to really consider returning to in-person virtual blend meetings, as I think they give tenants a more of an opportunity to participate in the business of the housing authority. I know it's been done in the past, and I think it can continue to be done in the future. I think the idea of doing it on properties is great, but finding a central location to meet like we used to do back at 1133 would be great. Additionally, because these meetings become listening sessions for all intents and purposes. There's no real discussion happening between your clients, public housing residents and voucher holders, and this board and the leadership. Folks are told, we'll get back to you, we'll return to you. And I understand that that's happening, but nothing, not that anything can be resolved immediately necessarily, but it does kind of leave a bad taste in many folks' mouth, that they're not being responded to in a quick enough time. So I really encourage you all, as you move on in really moving back to in-person meetings as much as possible. The other point I wanted to bring up is I had a resident from the residences at the Hayes reach out to me because they are experiencing some problem where they're feeling like they are being treated as second-class citizens because they are low-income renters. They're former public housing residents that were relocated there because of redevelopments at their properties. You've got residents from Berry Farm there. You've got residents from Lincoln Heights there. And oftentimes, many of these folks feel like the management there is mistreating them. I know this is not fully a DCHA property, but it is part of the New Communities Initiative, where I know DEMPED and DCHA have some involvement, responsibility to the tenants there. So I would encourage, to whatever extent the Housing Authority can do, is look into these allegations of your tenants being mistreated and being handled as second-class citizens, because as we move forward with these type of redevelopments, and these properties receive public housing residents, we don't want that those same conditions reoccurring. If anybody would like to follow up on that more specifically, I don't want to put it all out in the air here, but would love to have that discussion because it is becoming an increasing issue at that property. And of course, we don't want that to get out of hand if it doesn't need to. Lastly, I wanted to share, if I have a little bit of time around the
Sorry, your time has expired.
Okay, thank you. I'll follow up by.
Okay, thank you very much. Chairman, that concludes our testimony, and we need to unmute you, Chairman.
Sorry about that. Okay, thank you. Thank all the people who've provided testimony today, and we'll follow up as appropriate, where we said we would have to do some follow-up on the comments. So thanks again. The next item on the agenda are the committee reports. And in doing the committee reports, we're going to also go through the various resolutions that we have on the agenda today. And there are 5 resolutions for the board to consider today. And we're going to start with the Committee on Operations and Administrative Services. Commissioner Jones, who headed that committee, was not able to be with us today. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Silla to provide that report.
Thank you, Chairman. Should I just go through each of the resolutions and talk through how our concerns were integrated into the?
Yes, you can do that. And I didn't know if there's any other reporting from your committee meeting, but the most important thing is, of course, is to get through the resolutions. So you can start with that.
All of our discussions focused on the resolutions, so let me just give that then. For the resolution related to janitorial services for select DC Housing Authority buildings, that's resolution 2439. We had a lot of questions around the context of the resolution and the importance of authorizing it. We were concerned that this was a large sum of money that was being leveraged for janitorial services. So we wanted to better understand how many properties it was going to cover, what the time period was going to be. And I'm very pleased to see the breakout of the properties that are implicated, including ones that are getting daily services versus quarterly services. Nona, VP of, I think it's public housing. Sorry for. Yes, okay. Did a wonderful job of helping to explain to us why this was important and why her team needed this kind of support going forward. So I think all of our questions and concerns have been addressed in this updated resolution. Should I just keep carrying on?
No, we're going to go ahead and vote on each resolution one at a time. So you've heard the committee report, and the committee is recommending approval of this resolution. Can I get a motion to approve resolution 24-39?
I move.
There's a second. Did I hear a second? So any discussion or comments from the board on this resolution? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Blackson?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Silla?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickerson?
Yes.
And Chairman Skinner?
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Silla?
Yes. The next resolution is related to the execution of security camera and video surveillance services for select DC Housing Authority properties. This is resolution 2442. Similar to the last resolution, we, as part of our committee meeting, wanted to better understand the context in which we were securing additional video and camera and video surveillance equipment. I'm happy to report that the memorandum and the resolution has been updated to include the details of the properties as well as the types of kits and the purpose, license plate readers that are going to be installed. So I do believe most of our questions have been addressed. I think maybe the only outstanding question is we have previously as a board approved the purchase of security camera and surveillance equipment. And so we had asked for confirmation that this was, something that was necessary, separate from and in addition to those prior resolutions. So maybe Director, can I turn it over to you or your chief to speak to just that aspect?
Yep, I'm right here. I'm right fine.
Oh,
Very close. Yep. So yeah, so that, yes, that resolution, we decided to kind of pare down and focus on these high priority properties and then implement a longer term solution, outside of that. So,
okay, so does that mean we should expect to see another resolution relative to security cameras? Okay.
Yep.
So I think my only feedback to the DC Housing Authority team, just all the crews in general, when you are bringing a procurement to us, is to give us a lay of the land so that we know what we are also anticipating in addition, because when we do see multiple resolutions that are all related to the same topic, it raises concerns. Thank you. With that, it answers all of the questions associated with our committee. We're good to go.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Silla. So the committee is recommending approval of resolution 24-42. Can I get a motion to approve?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this resolution? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote on resolution 24-42.
Sure. Commissioner Dickerson?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Blackson?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Silla?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Thank you. And Chairman Skinner?
Yes.
Thank you. The resolution is approved.
Okay, thank you. The next resolution, 24-49, is again another extension of the authority's admissions and continued occupancy policy, the ACOP. This is the sixth emergency resolution, and hopefully it's the last one. I'll ask the executive director to give us a little insight into how we're handling this and when we think we will actually be able to finalize the ACOP. And before we vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, so obviously, this, as you said, the sixth extension is at some point we do need to get to some semblance of an approved version. I don't want to have to do request another extension from the board. We're not going to be able to solve all the concerns of advocates, et cetera. And each year we will be updating the ACOP as well as the admin plan. It's a part of a normal practice. So ideally, what we're working towards now is just trying to identify some items that we can agree on and update. With the thought and notion and concept of getting immediately discussions about the next year and what else we can change as we go forward. Because we will be updating it every year. We should be updating it every year. But to stay on this extension of emergency cycle just doesn't make any sense to me at all. And I'd rather just get to a version. And from there, just continue to build upon it. So that's.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Silla.
It's okay. That's okay.
So go ahead, continue.
Okay. Amy, do you want to do it? And then I can give reflections of the committee discussion.
Yes, because obviously we had it. Well, I was just going to say, I mean, just to clarify, this version is unchanged from the last version in case there's any, I was anticipating a possible question. So but yeah, well, I think, yeah.
Yes, I think from the committee's perspective, and that might not be reflected in the resolution here, but General Counsel, I am so sorry, I'm bad with titles.
That's fine.
Our General Counsel had indicated that you had provided us with like a couple of bullets around the timeline that we could expect to be engaged. We thought it was very aggressive. I'm, of course, personally very pleased to see such an aggressive timeline. And so I think our committee was on board with this extension, hoping very strongly that this be the last one.
And what is the aggressive timeline?
So, I mean, I think the upshot is that, you know, we are looking for the next version that, you know, before these expire to be, or, you know, to be coming to the board for what I'll call sort of a final approval. I mean, that's the upshot, I think. You know, we are, you know, there's
So that
many
was,
steps within that. But
and I think we had identified that February would be
yeah,
next time
right.
that we would need to extend, but you were hoping that we could have a draft and be working with something as early as December or January.
Correct. And we don't have a board meeting in January, so it probably will be a February. I mean, if, you know, in terms of approvals, it probably will be February, but yes, exactly. We are really trying to be aggressive. So, you know, to get this moving.
Okay, so given that, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 24-49.
I'm sorry, Chairman, we do have a question from Commissioner Murphy.
Okay, I was going to get the motion on the floor and then ask for questions or comments.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So can we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second? So any questions or comments? Commissioner Murphy?
A quick question. I believe we had been waiting for comments from HUD on this, and I just didn't know where that part of the process stood.
We have discussed verbally with HUD some of their, you know, their prior comments, but it, you know, at this point, it does not look like additional HUD comments will be coming in with respect to the ACOP. So just one of the reasons why I think we're, you know, moving to, you know, look at their older comments, see what we've, you know, addressed or not addressed, you know, work to address anything that we think is unresolved and to move forward.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks.
There were three.
Go ahead.
There were three topics in ACOP that the residents were a little unsure about. And when you do it, I want these to be talked about. The one dealing with the pets, the one dealing with the zero rent, and the one dealing with the overnight stays of visitors, correct, Commissioner?
Yep.
Okay, so we would like for you to make sure those are in the whatever you need to do, but these were the ones that were highly concerned and the residents pushed back because what was written was not acceptable.
And the zero rent is the that's sort of the procedure for when we have to recertify people who are paying zero rent.
Exactly.
Just make sure.
Or even I guess if it's someone who's finally got their name on the list and they're not in there. You know, they were saying there should be fee $25 or $50, but if a person has nothing, you cannot tell them to make it or borrow it.
Can I add to that list from a homeless services perspective? The homeless preference, and also zero rent was another sticking point at the Housing Solutions Committee that the Interagency Council on Homelessness hosts. And I would also, as you are engaging with the community, I think it's very critical to engage with the homeless services continuum of care. So I would recommend that we slot in 1 or 2 engagements with the Housing Solutions Committee, and we can consider how to do that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Who's speaking?
Oh, it's Commissioner Blackson.
Okay.
So wanted more engagement on the ACOP plan.
And I think just to the point about the preferences overall waitlist management, I know you all are rethinking like how we'll sort of manage our risks going forward for both public housing and vouchers. Just be good to, I think, discuss that a little bit more.
Okay, so there is a motion on the table to approve resolution 24-49. Any other questions or comments? If none, then we'll have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Blackson,
Yes.
Commissioner Dickerson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Sella,
Yes.
and Chairman Skinner.
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
Okay, thank you. So there was one other resolution that came out of the Operations Committee. That's 24-50 to adopt the fiscal year 2025 payment schedule. Commissioner Silla?
Yes. So when, I think that, let me properly introduce this. Okay, so this is resolution 2450 to adopt fiscal year 2025 payment schedule. I think the most significant concern that we had was making sure that the resolution, the memorandum or the resolution is very clear that this is standard, which means that it is not the amount that tenants are going to get, but rather the limit for rent payments. So I'm just quickly double checking that that update has been integrated into the resolution. Yes, okay, so I'm just double checking that the memo, and I'm so sorry I don't see a page number, but right above the table for with the rent limits, it does note that a market analysis, meaning a rent reasonableness review is required, and therefore that this is the limit. So I greatly appreciate that addition to the memorandum. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 24-50.
So move.
Second,
Second.
roll call vote, please.
Actually, can I ask a question, Chairman?
Yes.
I don't know the answer to this question, and I'm not even sure how relevant it is, but let me ask it anyway. I continue to be a little anxious about how many vouchers we issue and are not being used. And I think the latest data has us at 1,152 vouchers that have been given to people and that they haven't been able to utilize yet. And I just wonder, is there any relationship between this particular standard and the challenge that people seem to be facing finding places that they can use their vouchers? Are we inadvertently hamstringing people from actually finding places they can use their vouchers?
I actually thought it was just the opposite, Commissioner, because I guess 2 years ago, maybe it was 3 years ago now, HUD cited us because we hadn't adopted a payment standard for many, many years. And once we did, I think that was in 22, the idea was to come up with a figure that would allow the broadest range of properties so that our participants had an opportunity to move to all parts of the city, particularly west of the park and in those areas that are higher income or more expensive in terms of properties. So I think that was the idea for adopting what seems like a relatively large figure in terms of the 187%. Keith, did you want to say something?
No, you explained it right.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say, I don't think
Yeah.
anybody think that.
That's exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I mean that's good to know. But it also then it's not related to this resolution. It just also raises this continuing concern of something's not working with the vouchers, and we can talk about it another time. But it just that number continues to grow, and we can't just look the other way. So
Yes, agreed.
okay.
Okay, can we have it's been moved and seconded. Now can we have a roll call vote on resolution 24-50.
Sure. Commissioner Silla,
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Dickerson,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Blackson, Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
you, and Chairman Skinner.
Yes.
Resolutions.
So again, I want to thank Commissioner Silla and the members of the Operations Committee for their due diligence and the work on reviewing these resolutions. I know it takes a lot of time, and often there's a lengthy background and to review to get an understanding of exactly what's going on. So again, we appreciate your work on these. So next, we're going to call on the Capital Projects Committee. That's Commissioner Murphy is in charge of that, and they think we reviewed just one resolution in that committee, but you can talk about your committee meeting and then talk about Resolution 24-51, which
Great.
I will just take a second to say this is a continuation and sort of the next iteration of our policy to move through what we call the repositioning of our properties. We adopted development principles a couple meetings ago, and so this is the next iteration where we're focusing on tenant protections and committing to the residents on a process where they will have the same resident protections as in the RAD program as we move forward with the Section 18. So with that, Commissioner Murphy.
Great, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I think that what I'm very pleased, well, so let me just say that we really spent all of our time in our last committee talking about the resolution because it is important and it's a real opportunity for us to make a statement. This is Resolution 2451. As we have talked about, you know, we as a housing authority have somewhat limited tools at our disposal to try to improve conditions for our residents. And two of those tools are RAD repositionings and Section 18 repositionings. There's been a little bit of misinformation out there, or maybe misunderstanding is a better word. And I think this is an opportunity for us to clarify an issue and make a real commitment to our tenants. We have heard some people question whether, when we're deciding whether to approve something or put something forward for a RAD conversion or a Section 18 conversion, there's been a little bit of chatter, I think, around the city by some, suggesting that we're potentially picking a Section 18 conversion because it doesn't necessarily grant tenants the same kinds of rights as a RAD conversion. And there have been some suggestions that perhaps we're intentionally picking Section 18 over RAD. And I think this is an opportunity for us to dispel any concerns or any misinformation or misunderstandings out there by adopting as a board a policy that says whether we have to or not, whether we are required to or not, we as a board are going to make the decision that we want to grant the same kinds of tenant protections to our Section 19 repositioned properties as RAD would require us. And hopefully that will give people confidence that when we're making these decisions, that we're making them for very much the right reasons of our residents. And just to clarify, to date, we have not approved any Section 18 conversions. We've submitted applications for 6 properties to be repositioned, but there aren't any that have actually been converted. And so by adopting this today, we're making sure that as we move forward, if HUD does approve those repositionings, it should give some comfort to anyone out there that we're going to make sure that our tenants have the same kinds of protections they would had we gone with a RAD repositioning. So I'm happy to entertain any questions or comments or thoughts on this. The committee was, I was sort of joking, was in violent agreement that this was something we wanted to do and are really pleased to bring it forward to the full board today.
Questions or comments from board members?
I have just a quick question. Some of the projects I remember we approved were a plan. The way this is written, this might be for Amy, that this also covered the blended projects.
Yes, and just to be transparent here, the RAD blended projects have already, the tenants of those projects would already be entitled to the RAD rate.
Okay.
But as Commissioner Murphy was saying, the goal here is just make clear that so making sure that anyone who's receiving a project that is only converted through section 18 only, would also have access to those. And we're lucky to be a work agency because we're going to need to use our moving to work authority to implement some of these, but it's time to do that because these are out, right? Because we're still waiting we don't even have the 100 approval. So you're just going to do it. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Because I still can't see any hands. If not, then I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution 24-51.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
roll call vote.
Sure. Commissioner Dickerson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Murphy,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Ritchie,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Silla,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Blackson, yes, thank you. And Chairman Skinner,
Yes.
thank you. The resolution is approved.
Okay, thank you, and thank all of you for again your due diligence and work on these resolutions. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to have to leave early, so I apologize again. And at this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Commissioner or Vice Chair Commissioner Lee. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chairman Skinner.
I'm sorry. We may have to turn it over to someone else. I told Chairman Skinner that I could not lead, but I'm not sure where we're at. Does it just need to be closed out?
Have Commissioner Squad.
Yes, we do have Commissioner's Corner. I'm happy to take over.
Oh, sorry. If you called me, asked me to be the backup. So I'm happy to take over.
Thank you.
Commissioners, Commissioner, to take over so we can close out.
I think we've made it through all the resolutions, so we just have maybe if there are any other upvotes from the committees that haven't spoken yet, and then we'll go to commissioner time, and then we're done with the agenda. So is this committee report out?
No, this is a resident report out that I didn't get to say when Commissioner Skinner, when the residents spoke. So I wanted to hear some.
Okay.
So, sir.
President says anything else?
I can't hear who's speaking, and I can't. You cut out. You break out. What did you say?
Apologies. I said we're just going to finish with the committee reports and then go to commissioner time, and then I think we'll be adjourning for the day. Commissioner has one issue to raise during commissioner. Just for committee reports, anything else for the Committee on Services?
Nope, nothing else.
Good. Yes. My committee. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Denise Blackson. I'm Commissioner Blackson, and I'm the chair of the Resident Services Committee. And I just wanted to share a continued initiative that is called Block by Block. It focuses on safety. We will be on October the 17th. This is an initiative that empowers leaders to be able to bring back information and resources to their community So I just wanted to share that we had a great first meeting. The leaders received certificates, training, they got certified on the Narcan. And we'll meet again on the 17th, and we'll have another committee meeting on the 24th. So I just wanted to share that update.
Great.
And I was thinking of services, but I said resident services, so thank you. Commissioner Murphy, any other updates on the capital projects?
No, I don't think so. I did want to just do something which I should have done earlier, which is just really share my appreciation to the staff for working with us on the resolution that we just adopted. There not only was there no resistance, they were to adopting these additional tenant protections, which again we're not required to, but there was real support and leadership from the staff, and I think that reflects well on them and what we're trying to do as a board.
And then I can give a very brief update on the Committee on Budget, Audit, and Finance. So we had a nice, quiet September, given that the summer was so busy with all the work the team was doing to catch up on our audits and prepare the budget for fiscal year 25. We were able to also get an update from Ms. Cooper on some of the work being done on the audit and compliance side, including what sounded like some pretty, I thought, innovative and fun ways to engage people in compliance through setting up like Jeopardy-like games and board games. So we were excited to hear about that, but nothing, I think, major to report out. Okay. So I think that does it for our committee report out. So we'll now jump to commissioner time. And Commissioner Blacksey, you want to lead us off?
Yes, I had a resident message me, a resident leader message me anonymously, and they asked me to share that how come caseworkers do not return residents' calls. And some are experiencing mold issues, and this is across the board from different residents throughout the different points. So I believe that's an answer to my question. Stephanie.
Question for the president.
The case management not responding.
Vouchers.
Right. Well, that's mold is in both.
Right.
Okay.
But
So public health on the voucher side, yes, it's mine.
you want to address the
Question, please.
Hey, that answer the follow.
Yeah, so we're like, we had a conversation a few minutes ago. So that's one of the issues that's we continue to address. One of the good things that's happening, that's happening now, that we're working on is the increase in staff, hiring certain, just hired landlord liaisons. One started on Monday, one starting in 2 weeks, and that's going to help with the landlord part. In terms of the family, there's been challenges we've dealt with. Constantly questioning me to staff more accountable, which I am. We're requiring our staff to follow up, take the extra step. We're fighting a culture where staff has been used to the past few years of doing the minimum, which just ask of them for the job descriptions. And now we're coming in with the better of we're asking staff to stop having that mentality of we have 24 hours to respond to a call. I'm gonna wait 24 hours. 24 hours, unfortunately, sometimes it becomes 48 hours. So my supervisors are being asked to follow up on calls and on emails at the end of the week, on each Friday. Look at the logs to see what the staff is doing and start writing people up. And we have started writing people up, and we've had some unhappy staff naturally, and very dependable with the emails. And we have to do it because we have to hold our staff accountable because the customer service piece is bad. I know we open up our offices for families to walk in to get more in-person assistance and faster service, and it's working. Our numbers are high. Because the numbers, and also because the numbers are so high, it's also pulling staff away from their desk duties. But at the same time, we still get to respond to those. But we know it's still a challenge, and we're still working to get I'm still working with my supervisors to get our staff, our frontline staff, to respond better. And I'm hoping, and I feel confident with this. We have 7 new housing program specialists, our frontline workers that we're getting ready to make offers to. Once we get them in and get them trained, we have more to hire. It's going to help. We'll start seeing some progress on that. For right now, I don't make excuses. It's happening. I know it's happening. We all know it's happening. But we're also working to get that piece of our shot done.
So a couple other things. He's right. The push them to fill the vacancies up on because staff have been sort of overwhelmed. We're in this period what I call the mad rush syndrome. The numbers in terms of walk-ins for 702 have jumped almost 100% from this is September. So 1,600 in August and 2,400 September. Now that's a good thing in a way because it means people are coming to see us to get served. But by the same token, I've met with the staff to talk to them a little bit about home accountability and the fact that we're going to start doing some secret shopping because I've been hearing the concerns about no calls being returned and emails not being returned. Now, in all fairness, to the staff in a way, because like I said, I've been to 3 receiverships, so I've seen this thing in different places, but there's similar trends. They're kind of overwhelmed right now because of the numbers of people that come to see us, the amount of vouchers we have on street number 2. People are coming in with all and a bunch of stuff. So what I'm contemplating doing, I haven't committed to it yet, but I did talk to the staff because I wanted to hear what they were seeing and what they were feeling and what they were hearing. Not only the frontline staff, but the supervisors to find out, hey, how are you tracking the weekly work of your case management staff, right? Are you seeing where the bottlenecks are? And how are you resolving these bottlenecks, right? So, but one thing I think about doing it seriously is maybe we see residents 5 days a week, but with the volume of work, paperwork, they may need a day. They may need to say no walk-ins on Friday to give them time to process and return a call because of the volume. And so that's where my head is right now because I'm there. I see the volume. You know, I go down and talk to the residents, and they're happy that they can come somewhere and see somebody. But when you see that kind of volume, and people have never been in it before, so you know you're trying to help them sort of adjust to the pace as well as a sense of urgency. Right? I'm the only guy in that room that's ever been through anything like this. To be frank, even my senior staff, God bless them all, they're great people, but they've never been in this kind of environment. And so it's my job to sort of try to observe it and manage it in a way that it doesn't overwhelm me. So I'm not making excuses because he knows I'm telling him to bring people up. I told the supervisor, I said, listen, you guys should be tracking weekly progress of the people that they're serving. That should be fairly easy, number one. And where you see the bottlenecks of who's not followed up, then you need to deal with them. And I did get a couple of emails from staff who said that they got written up. So clearly we're starting to do that now. And I wanted to give people some time also to acclimate before we started to write people up because this is a different environment. Unless you've lived in it, there's nothing like it. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So.
As Steve would answer the other one for the mold, and I think that's the public housing.
Yeah, that's just the properties management staff. So.
Right. So thank you for that question. So with the mold, I mean our properties are old. Like the average age is 60 years old. There wasn't ventilation in with the change in climate and the rest of it. We're just seeing a lot of mold that are coming in. So as those are reported, we're actually having a third party actually come out and review it. If it's a situation where it's an investment of like 10, 12, 13, $14,000, we're actually transferring to families and then turning it over to our capital construction side of the house for them to actually do a rehab on the unit. So we can address all the things. So we have things in place in reference to installing ventilation systems in the kitchens and the bathrooms at places like stop packs to try to address those issues in reference to ventilation. So as those issues arise, they need to report that so we can get a third party company out to review it and then make the appropriate recommendation.
But that also goes back to the property management staff. They're reporting it, then we need to be addressing it right away. It sounds to me like the concern is that they made a complaint that wasn't addressed. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. We need to find out what property that is so we can address that.
Okay. Some people just want to remain anonymous they always fear that they're going to be retaliated against. So I get a lot of those texts.
We got to know where the unit is.
I'm going to have to give y'all about 10 units at a time.
And that's fine. Give me 10 units. And we'll check them all. And then when we find it, we'll abate it. That's fair enough.
That's fair. And I wanted to make a recommendation since I brought up the issue. How are we doing the customer satisfactory? Okay, you're saying that case management or property management, they're making these reports every week. How are we following through with the client to see if the client is accepting of the service they receive? Can we doing a survey?
Well, we are gonna do a survey. I haven't done a survey yet delivered,
Okay.
just so you know, especially down at 702. Because I wanted to give the team time to get acclimated to what they were involved in. But we are gonna start doing customer service surveys at the beginning of the year. But I want to give staff some time to get acclimated, because again, this environment, they never been in it before. And I'm pushing like a madman behind them, and then you got the residents with the mad rush coming. So they catch it from all sides right about now. But we're gonna create a survey that will start at the beginning of the year. That way, had time to acclimate, so nobody can complain anymore about not being customer friendly. And plus, we just finished customer service training everybody too, just so you know. So no sense in doing a survey without before we fact we got on the training that for the staff.
Okay. So y'all hear that, residents?
Yeah, when we went out, I finished the survey. No, I'm afraid of the staff, the survey.
And
Staff not doing what it's supposed to do in the survey. The survey gonna say what I need to do.
I want to just share my name again. I'm Commissioner Blackson, and I'm always open for the residents. You can give me a call if these things are happening to your unit, 202-250-4451. For any concerns, please feel free to email me or text me. Thank you. And for commissioners in the room, any other?
Yes,
Is anything?
I do. I am Commissioner Burbridge, the Commissioner of the Citywide Advisory Board. And I want it to be public record that the Citywide Advisory Board is not a committee, it's a board. It has its own attorney, it has its own bylaws. I don't mean any harm, but DCHA cannot overrule, step in, and come there. That is what the bylaws say. I will remain ethical. I will stand on my principles and my foundation. And I know I'm doing well because I just won the National Resident Commissioner. Okay, so that's all 50 states. I will not bend, and because you dislike me or you don't like me and you want to put someone in this spot, I didn't put myself in this spot. I was appointed. We had an election. I will do everything. My door is always open for conversation and to talk, but I will not and I refuse to go against the bylaws and the principles. So I just wanted to make it clear because I didn't want someone to come up and say, we told DCHA, come tell me, come tell the attorney, take it to the private entity, the people who need to see it. And I'm feeling good today, and you can reach out to me on 202-269-3658, and I'll be more than happy to talk with you and discuss anything. I just want the record to be clear. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Dickerson. I just want to say personally about Commissioner Burbridge. From the very first day I came and I was in the office here filling out papers, Commissioner Burbridge was very hospitable to me, very friendly to me, and we made a very wonderful connection about our common goal of the DCHA becoming exemplary again. So I wanted to say, I know Commissioner Burbridge, I've been in all kinds of meetings with her and in all kinds of community members. Our church is in her neighborhood, not too far from her apartment. And I know, I want to just say she's a person of integrity and great faith and commitment to the residents that she serves. And so this is a personal thing. I'm saying I'm getting to know her and over the last 3 years. And so I just want to add that in there on this particular issue.
Thank you, Commissioner Dickerson. Anything else from those in the room?
Yes, I had, this is a different topic, so slightly shifting. I just wanted to thank, why am I so bad with names? Office of Resident Services, I believe it is. Brian Harris is your director. Fashad Taylor in particular thank you, has been organizing an event in partnership with Department of Behavioral Health. They kicked off the first two properties. They were at Horizon House on October 4th and Claridge Towers on October 3rd. probably should have said that in the, in the reverse order. But I am very grateful. They were focused on, these are properties that are experiencing high levels of fatal and near fatal opioid overdoses and so I'm just really grateful for their leadership in stewarding the events. So thank you.
They are great to work with.
Yep.
Any comments from any of the commissioners on WebEx?
No.
All right. Hearing none, the next Board of Commissioners meeting will be held Wednesday, November 13th, 2024 at 1 p.m. via WebEx. Information regarding viewing or participating in the meeting live can be found at www.dchousing.org. And with that, you're adjourned.
Thank you.